So we're at the Flint Tattoo Convention, the Tattoo City Tattoo Convention in Flint, Michigan. And I've got Angie Akimi here, one of my favorite artists, local celebrity. All right, enough of that. Let's get down to business. So, Ange, you're a buddy of mine. I love your work. I saw that.
Same.
I saw that geisha that you did on your friend over there, your client.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So amazing. Everything about it. I was raving about it to you yesterday. I just love that piece so much.
Thanks.
What got you into tattooing?
So I've always been really artistic since I was a kid.
It's obvious.
And as I got older, I think I was about 11, 12, when I seen a show on TV about tattoos, and I had no idea.
Was it like a documentary or something?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Women that had breast cancer, and they were getting huge chest pieces to just cover up scars, and that immediately, I was like, yeah.
Yep, I'm doing that.
Do.
That's me.
Yeah, and never thought that I would. But
have you done the mastectomy?
No.
Tattoos yet?
No, I haven't. I've had a couple clients come in and ask for it, but not anything set in stone.
So the reason you got into tattooing, you haven't even done one yet?
No, not yet. But I mean, I never thought that I would become a tattoo artist, And then I think graduated right after high school. I think I was 19.
So you were young when you
Yeah.
started your apprenticeship and everything. So how did all that start for you?
It was kind of by luck. I had looked around the area, went shop, portfolio. No one was really looking for an apprentice. And then my best friend was getting a tattoo, and I went in with her. And I had a piece that I wanted to price on, right? Brought in the design, and the artist, which was Denny from Blackball at the time.
Yeah. Denny Pageant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's the one that asked who drew that, this and that. And next thing I know, they're asking me to just kind of sketch something up real quick while I'm waiting. I'm like, what in the hell's going on? And then
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, and I was very quiet, very shy, and so I did. And after I got done, it was just a koi fish, traditional Japanese, shaded black
You just
and gray.
whipped it out like it was nothing.
I mean, it took some time because I'm I'm going to take my time and make sure it's good. And next thing I know, Jordan Grakauskas, he's the one that was working there too, came up and they offered me the apprenticeship.
On the spot?
Yeah. That's when they were asking about my portfolio. And funny story, I had already dropped off my portfolio there, but the owner, didn't tell them nothing. It was just kind of hidden.
Kind of tucked,
yeah.
in the files.
Yeah. And
we get another one this week, guys.
Right. And I was at the time, I had no idea. So then after that, they pretty much told me if I wanted to come in, check out how the shop works, then I can have the apprenticeship. If not, then I'm, free to go.
Right on.
Yeah.
And then you were there for how long?
That one, I think I was only there for maybe about a year.
Okay.
And then
you left from there and
left.
you went with Jordan to his studio, correct?
Yeah, that's when he opened up American Revolution. Him and Denny
Yeah.
had, and that was about a year break. And I had moved to Florida for a little bit. And then he calls me, tells me the plans, and he's like, do you want to finish your apprenticeship?
This is what we're gonna do.
Say no more. I'll be on the next flight up.
Get Spirit Airlines ticket right now, man. I'm on my way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Set me up. Rip some paper towels.
Yeah, right. That was pretty much it, right? I got to be the bitch of the shop.
Yeah. So, would you say your apprenticeship was more like a traditional, old school apprenticeship, or was it a little more modern? Or
In the beginning, before I left Blackball, yeah, more the traditional. I got a little hazing,
Okay.
so I can get that tough skin. Because
Yeah.
I was very quiet, and they're like, you need to not be like that because you're gonna deal with so many different kinds of people.
So, what are your feelings on apprenticeships today and how the hazing process and everything like that is, and compared to how it was for you?
I mean, from the apprentices that I know and hearing about their experiences now, not like how they used to be, which the hazing, like you said, it's not necessary, but at times, for me, it did help me, get tough skin and get a fucking spine and be who I am now.
Absolutely.
Sometimes nowadays, I think that they should get a little hazed, but, more focused on the art. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because back then, it wasn't quite focusing on the art for me and how my apprenticeship was. But Denny and Jordan definitely took over and if it weren't for them, like, I wouldn't fucking be here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I honor my mentor still, even though he was an asshole and he fucking put me through hell. I was like, sometimes I'm just like, fuck that guy. But also at the same time, I respect him so much for, putting me through what he did, because it made me the artist I am today, and with my values and everything that I have today. So how many places have you've been? You've pretty much been local, right? Have you ever moved away to work at another shop? I know you like went to France for a little bit, and you were aspiring to work there, from what I remember.
I went to France twice. The first time it was just to meet a friend and stuff, but also because of what we do, I'm like, well, I might as well check out shops. So I came in contact with one shop in Nice in the south. And they were owned by Americans, and they had a shop in Florida, and they had one in Nice, and then they were just opening up one in Italy too. But when I went back for, I think, 3-4 months later that year, that's when I was going to do my guest spot and stuff. That's when all the terrorist attacks happened. There's this truck that drove through. So the country had gotten super strict with that, so I wasn't unable to do that. But I still hung out at the shop and got to meet them.
Working abroad with stuff like that going on, did you need a work visa or stuff that just paperwork wasn't going through?
Yeah,
for you
I had to
something?
jump through hoops. I had to go to Chicago, to an embassy and stuff. It was a lot, and so it kind of sucked when I was like, finally, I can do this, right? And then that happens, and
Then
I'm
they're
like,
like,
I
nah.
get it. Yeah, I get it though, But I didn't actually work there. I've worked Midland, Blackwell, American Revolution, and then came to Saginaw, and I was working at ISM with Kate.
Yeah.
And that's when I, met Sydney, Jeremiah and all them. And I was only there for maybe a couple months, and then went over to Drunken Monkey. And then I was at Drunken Monkey for, probably 7 years.
You were there for a while.
Yeah.
Because Jordan went there, and you guys worked together there for a while. Jordan was there before you?
Yeah, he was there, and I was working at ISM. And I think Jordan was there maybe at least 6 months, because he had dipped out from Midland, his shop. Him and Kirby both already had jobs and stuff. So I was the last that kind of was seeing where I can go. And then after that he was at Drunken Monkey when I started working there, maybe another year, 2 years.
Traveling. How long have you been doing conventions and stuff for now?
This year. Well, so my first expo I ever worked was Grand Rapids, years back. And it was small, local. First year of them doing it. And then I think once I started working at Drunken Monkey is when I started working Detroit. And I'd worked Detroit at least 3-4 years, but working the circuit now this year.
So this year's your first big year of because we worked Philadelphia, we did that show, and then I saw you in Detroit.
Yep.
And then you've done a whole bunch since then too. You've done a couple few.
We started off with Mini.
Yeah, that's the beginning of January.
Yep.
That's the first one every year.
Yep, we did that, and then we went to Philly, and then Chicago, Detroit, and I think the last one before this Flint one was Baltimore.
Yeah. I heard that's a good show, but a weird, city.
You see, I heard that, but it was honestly, for me, I had a great experience. Even in the city, walking around, but also it was my birthday weekend. I stayed a couple extra days to explore the city because, in Philly, Mini, we just went there, got
You're
done the
so this is my
expo and
treat weekend. I'm going to enjoy it more.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything crazy, but the people we ran into, locals, very nice, very helpful, but also sticking to one area.
True, yeah. So if you're in a good pocket, or maybe the people that I heard stories from, they were just in a bad pocket.
It happens, because I had a bad experience in Philly and unsure if I want to go next year, but I might, because every year it could be different. But people were telling me horrible things every city, so I'm preparing myself.
It's everybody's getting shot at the urinal, man.
For real.
Dead bodies packed up everywhere.
Yeah, so it just depends on the situation, where you're at, who you're hanging out with.
So how do you feel about all the traveling? Obviously you enjoyed it, you keep doing it.
Yeah, no, you know me. I love traveling.
Oh yeah, it's in your blood.
Yeah, and so now I'm getting out of my shell. I have anxiety, you know what I mean? And so I've you guys have been trying to get me to go on the road with you guys to do shows for years, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. And now
I stay home.
I love it, the experiences, and now I'm meeting more and more artists and just growing up.
Do you feel like it's inspired your work?
Oh yeah, definitely at times. Other times I'm like, I want to quit. Why are you so good? But
Like,
that's
oh
also
my
like
gosh.
motivation, right?
It is. It really is. I remember in Detroit, I saw that piece that Rember did all
gosh.
weekend. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! But killed himself doing it all weekend.
Yeah.
I think I talked for a second, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've slept for about an hour." Oh,
you
I'm just
know.
like, "What?" It looks like it because that piece is
Yeah.
huge and insanely detailed, and it won Best of Show.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't, you know?
Why wouldn't? If you're doing that much work on a piece, it better fucking win Best
Oh
of Show.
my
You know what I
gosh.
mean?
Even
So-
then, though, at the end of the day, if not, still dope ass
Oh,
piece.
dope ass piece.
Mm-hmm.
And that client that sat through that,
Yeah.
I mean, props to them too. I can't imagine getting that much work for that amount of
drilled
time
on.
all weekend. Oh man, I can't imagine that. So, what other shows you got coming up this year?
I think the next one is going to be Nashville. That one, me, Kristen, Jillian, and Sean are going to be going to that one and working that. After that, I'm not sure if I'm going to do any more for the rest of the year. Just because, my personal life.
Yeah, I remember. I think we were in Detroit when we were talking about the possibility of doing New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I was talking with you and Sean about that you guys had like a friend that had a place outside of the city.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and do that with you guys. And
Oh, yeah, the Airbnb that was
Yeah.
like Sean's client and stuff. Yeah, which was already like covered and everything because, trade for trade.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
this show's so fun.
It
I've
is.
had such a blast here. And, the tattoo community here, all the artists here.
it's
a
definitely
lot,
grown.
It's
Like last
grown a
year was
lot.
my first year working this, and I honestly was like, oh, I'm definitely going next year.
Yeah, and it's a smaller show.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I did the Asheville show in North Carolina last year, and it's about the
Yeah.
size of that one, and that was a really fun show too. A lot of my listeners here that aren't familiar with your work, what's the kind of style of stuff that you like doing the best? I know that's kind of a loaded question for you
All
right
the
now.
time, just because I'm so diverse and I enjoy doing multiple styles. But as far as like my favorites and what I kind of like, I guess, starting to get known for even more is like more that like realism, surrealism, sometimes neo-traditional. I really enjoy.
You're very versatile,
Yeah.
and you're very qualified at everything that you're versatile with.
Oh, thank you.
You very much are, and I cannot rave enough about how much I love Angie's work. I've talked about it in previous podcasts, and
Oh, it means a lot to me.
it means a lot. Thank you very, very much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
So
thanks for having
moving
me.
forward, like, do you have any plans for the rest of your? You said you had, you're going to be in California.
Yeah, that's just to go see one of my best friends. She's working, I think, at the Sequoia National Forest.
Dope.
Yeah. She graduated college as animal biology. So
Super cool.
yeah, she's been out there. She's the one that I went to Alcatraz and was like a little park ranger for a day.
Heck yeah.
You know?
So I got to see Alcatraz from the little like ferry boat tour going around it, but I never like actually stopped on the island. I just like went past it, like when you go under the Golden Gate,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I did that the one time and I was like, oh, that's cool. I wish I would have paid for the ticket to actually go to it and check it out. but-
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I learned a lot about like the history of the island, which I had no idea about, other than like ghost shows, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
always,
yeah.
oh, it's haunted.
It's so haunted.
Yeah.
And the cells are this fucking
Yeah,
big.
for
How
sure.
did they fit a body in there? They chopped him up and stuck him in.
Yep.
It's a cool experience, though. It was
Yeah.
really cool. I really want to go actually check it out in person, but I think when I was there, the tickets were already sold out to actually go on the island and check it out for the day. And I remember going by on the boat and seeing the people walk by. I'm like, they don't deserve it. I do.
I really wanted to go. Damn.
I wanted to go more than they did. So do you have any like fun projects or anything that you're looking forward to doing for the rest of the year or anything like that coming up?
I mean, other than just trying to stay motivated, get new art, new prints, maybe do a couple more pairs of shoes. I've had a lot of people like
Those shoes I was
ask me-
checking out are dope.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was really the second pair. So I'm learning, right? Like for the first pair, like what to do, what not to do. But now, like I really want to get more of my art just kind of like updated so you can see where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Progress, growth.
I'm kind of in that same realm of
Yeah.
things with my work right now. Is I've been recycling a lot of my old stuff. I think a little too long now. I've been like kind of rolling on that a
That's
little too
how I
long,
feel.
and I'm like, okay, it's time for something new. I kind of rode that that one out as long as I could. I beat that horse to death.
Yeah, right, you're dragging it at this point.
Now it's like it doesn't have any skin on it
Slamming it on the
anymore.
table.
Yeah, it's decomposed as fuck.
Yep.
Like, okay, I got to update my business cards, my banner, all my prints, everything.
Yeah.
And it's just, it can be exhausting to do all
It
that
is.
sometimes.
It
You have to
is.
take time for yourself, and you have to get yourself in that right headspace to want to do that for yourself. But then when you do, it's almost like you move into a. I've been using the word seasons a lot lately, but it's fitting, and it's a good way to describe kind of positions that we're in
Yeah.
with our careers.
It's like moving on to like the next chapter, You're leveling up, you know.
leveling up, the next chapter, the next
Yeah.
page.
Yeah,
or
right.
The next season.
Yeah,
I like
next season.
Well,
It's
'cause
pretty
fall,
good.
I think fall's coming up, and I'm really excited about it. 'Cause I love the fall.
I mean, who doesn't like fucking fall?
Halloween. I'm
All
so
day,
ready to
every day,
decorate.
I wish.
I just want to decorate.
I've been waiting.
But
Like I
everybody-
just moved into a new house and stuff too, so I'm still like in the middle of like unpacking and settling in.
Just unpack the Halloween shit.
I
all
thought
you-
about it, but honestly, like there's more important stuff I gotta do first.
Like I
you know?
need spoons.
Yeah, I need actual utensils.
Right. So no more shows this year then?
I mean, it's up in the air as far as I think December, Florida, doing one in Florida. What, either Orlando?
Yeah. Was it
Tampa and Orlando.
Tampa and Orlando. I think they're like, there's one in the fall and there's one in the winter, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a nice way to end the year, is like someplace nice and warm
Exactly
like
why
that.
I'm sitting here like maybe.
I've never
So-
been to Florida yet.
Really?
Yeah, my girlfriend Adriana keeps telling me, she's like, we need to go to like Universal Studios. I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to go
Yeah.
to Harry Potter.
It's pretty sweet.
Expecto, freaking give me a butter bureau. You know?
Oh man, those are they were pretty good, but like too sweet for me.
Yeah.
But you should definitely go.
I have to partake in a butter beer while I'm down there.
There's like I think what 2-3 different kinds.
I'm gonna try every one.
Yeah, you have to,
I'm gonna
right?
go to Diagon
the
Alley.
flavor hits differently with each one.
And then I'm gonna have to drink them in reverse order to see if it tastes we're going
You're
backwards.
gonna have a bellyache by the end of that.
That's like the story of my life. I didn't get this size by like fucking around and not trying things in life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I eat the concessions.
It's
I
just
try
like
the
you're
butter
not
beer.
living life if you're just not like
Right. That's what I tell people all the time. Take the trip, get the tattoo, eat the cake,
Yeah, live.
live, experience it. So, wrapping this up here for anybody that's like starting off doing conventions and stuff, from when you first started doing conventions to where you are now, any advice?
Well, for me, I tend to in the beginning overpack, right? Because you want to be prepared.
Right, right.
And as the years go on, you get more comfortable and you start bringing less and less.
You're
and
like, I
less
barely
stuff.
even need a machine.
Yeah, barely. But it's just like, supplies, because you also, there's companies here, so if you forget something, or you can always like borrow off, like the artists are so freaking nice, you know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
So like, just make sure that you have your machines, inks, needles, designs, and don't be socially awkward. And even if you are, that's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. You'll learn to like gel in
Yeah.
and fit
Yep.
in where you fit in.
Yeah. Don't let the fear stop you.
You said something to me yesterday that really resonated with me, actually, about posting on social media and everything. I'm like, because I get self-conscious like every other
We all
artist
do.
out there.
Yeah.
And you said to me, yeah, but even if 100 people hate it, there's somebody out there that's going to love it.
There's always going to be someone out there that's going to like your artwork, the tattoo design.
And that was really like that resonated with me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try and carry that forward and use that as inspiration to keep me motivated to continue to post and share
That's
myself
what
with
keeps
everyone.
me posting at times, 'cause
Somebody's
I fall
gonna love
short
it.
sometimes, but
Somebody's
I'm like,
gonna
you know
love
what? Just because I'm being my own worst critic right now, does that mean that like everyone's gonna just like hate on it
Right.
and this and that? And even then, like, you gotta feel comfortable and happy with what the end product is.
Right. And I think we go through that not just for ourselves, but also for the people that enjoy our work and
Yeah.
that we share our work with.
Mm-hmm.
Is we go through that crippling self-doubt and everything, and we have to overcome that to get to the next season.
Yeah, next season.
So that we can share that with people and
Yeah.
so they can enjoy it. But there's a whole process to that
Oh,
to
yeah.
arrive where we are today.
Yeah, I mean, and it's over time too. Like
Yeah.
it's growth, right?
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Rum
Oh.
wasn't built in a day.
Definitely not.
Badass tattoo artists out there didn't happen overnight, although some of them these days are seeming like they're
Sometimes.
fucking happening
That's
overnight.
exactly what I'm saying,
And I'm
though.
just like, I'm gonna cut my hands off. and
Like,
stop
where
tattooing.
did you come from?
Yeah.
You know?
They're like, oh, I
What?
just tried tattooing last week.
Oh, really?
What's his social media? Nick Mitchell. He's the guy that does like he did the zombie characters and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I remember when he started tattooing, he did the characters for so long. And he's like, hey guys, it's my first attempt at a tattoo. And it was just fucking awesome. Probably won like 6 awards
That's
or something.
exactly
I'm just
where
like,
I'm like, I'm going to quit.
yeah, I'm going to quit. Fuck you.
I've been doing this for
And,
15 years, and
yeah,
I'm going to
like,
quit.
the industry doesn't need me apparently.
Yeah, right. I guess I'm just going to go crawl under a table and die.
Yeah, I'm going to go fucking flip burgers. I'll probably suck at that too.
Yeah. You know?
Well, how can everybody find you on the interwebs and check out your work?
Well, mainly Instagram. It's got all my portfolio, all my pictures.
What's your
Angie_Kimi22 on Insta.
I'll put a link like right in this area here.
Yeah, for sure. Facebook, just Angie Kimi.
Okay.
And I have a TikTok, and it's probably Angie Kimi as well. But I haven't posted a lot on TikTok yet.
Probably
so.
Google. You could probably find all your
Yeah.
socials and like click these links below.
Yeah.
Pop, 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 pop.
That's perfect.
Well, hey, everybody, we're back on the Inkwell podcast here at the Tattoo City, Flint Tattoo, Michigan convention here. I got a really special guest, my good friend here, Brandon Stromberg, also known as Brandon Derm. Here. So you got the nickname Brandon Derm for your time with Sanoderm here. So is that kind of how you got started in the tattoo industry?
Yeah, so basically, back in 2017, I was working for a corporate sales company, and I had a heart attack.
I remember you telling me about that,
And so
man.
my wife
Stressful.
said, you need to find something different, or, you're going to die. So a buddy of mine was with Sanoderm at the time, and he's no longer with them anymore. But he basically said, hey, they're looking for somebody in sales. And I'm like, okay. They said they have this guy that's out on the road all the time, at conventions and stuff, but they need somebody inside sales. I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine, Steve. And they said, well, you're not sure what you could do because I had minuscule, just 2 little jaw banger, tiny tattoos. And that's
Yeah,
it.
just a couple little,
nothing,
little bangers.
And I did really well. I sold all the inventory out in a month and a half. So
And they're like, we need to keep this guy.
yeah, exactly, they did.
We're like, we got something here.
They said, okay, we can see what you do on the phone. Let's see what he does in real person in convention. So my first convention, 2018, was Philly.
That's like throwing you in the Shark Tank, man.
It was, bro. It was like 1,700 booths. I mean, it was massively.
Such a big show.
We probably wrapped like 680 people that weekend. It was nuts.
Your thumbs were probably like, I don't ever want to touch this stuff again.
All I remember is there was a Where's Waldo tattoo and a dude's ass crack. And I'm like, I'm a grown man. I am not rapping that.
Well, it's going to suck for that guy when he took that Sanoderm off. I don't care
Oh, yeah.
how much you run that under warm water to loosen it up. It's going to hurt like shit when pulling that off.
Most definitely.
So how'd you do that year in Philly then?
It was good, man. It was interesting. I was a lot heavier back then, so I was like, oh my God, this is really tough work. You
When
know?
I first saw you this weekend, like that's the first thing I noticed, man. You're looking great.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
I commented on that when I saw you this weekend.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
looking good. I need to steal your secrets.
Working out, eating right, and semaglutide.
Yeah, man.
And meth is one hell of a drug. Just kidding. No.
This is about all the meth I do is these freaking Monster Energy
That's
drinks.
right. A lot of caffeine.
So after that that first Philly convention and being out there and everything, Sanoderm's probably like, okay, this is the fucking guy. We need this guy out there. But you didn't have many tattoos. So were you approached by tattoo artists on the convention circuit like, hey, man,
Get
if
my
you're going to
seat.
hang with us,
Exactly.
you got to patch up
Yep,
pretty
yep.
much.
You better get it and going. And I realized when I was getting tattooed, it kind of reminded me when I was in the military. I liked that kind of the adrenaline aspect of it. It was
Yeah.
kind of a therapy for me. So I realized that actually tattoo is therapy for me.
What branch were you in?
I was a search and rescue in the Navy for 10 years.
Oh, no shit, bro.
Yep.
Thanks for your service, man.
Yep.
The Navy boys, man, that was probably a fun time being on the ships and everything.
It was
man.
interesting. I was actually more of an air crew. So I was an Airedale. So
Oh, okay.
I was on deployments, but I never was actually attached to a ship company or anything
Okay.
like that at all. So
So now, how long have you been traveling, doing the shows for Sanoderm and everything?
So I just had my anniversary with Sanoderm, 6 years. in
6
July.
years now.
Yep.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And basically, I was hitting as most, I don't know how many conventions I was doing. Over the last 2 years, at least, maybe 20.
Hell yeah.
It
So
was a lot.
it's full time.
It is full time.
Full time traveling.
Full time
doing the
travel, but I'm also
weekends.
dealing with the loyalty club. I'm dealing with artists. I have the sales aspect of it, and I'm also the convention aspect of it too.
The loyalty club, I'm signed up for the loyalty
Correct.
club, and you're my rep.
That's right.
And I freaking love it. I think it's a genius idea. Just taking a lot of like the stress off of artists having to freaking remember, oh crap, I forgot to order bench. Now I'm all out of it. You don't have to worry about running out.
Correct. And you also have a chokeability factor. You have somebody you can actually reach out to and say, hey,
Yeah.
what the fuck's my shit?
Yeah,
What's going
come
on?
on, man.
Exactly. So, they'll have a
Be like,
dedicated rep to help them
Brandon,
out.
that
for
shit's
sure.
supposed to be here this week, bro. Where is it?
Exactly.
Better
exactly.
overnight that shit right now.
Or any changes. Just having that. We really want to have a family aspect with Sanoderm, so we want to have that relationship. That's really important to us with our artists.
I
so.
feel like you guys definitely do. There's a lot of other bandages out there, and I've tried just about everything on the market. I stick with Sanoderm because one, some people have reactions to different bandages, and it just happens with people's skin types. But one thing I've noticed about Sanoderm is that percentage of people is way lower with Sanoderm. It's so much easier to apply. It feels so much better on the skin. It doesn't feel like you have a fucking trash bag on your arm. And for me as an artist, applying it, hell yeah. I love doing this at the show. But for me as an artist, applying it, it's so much easier. I'm not sitting there fidgeting with my client that's sore and ornery from getting drilled on all day, trying to put this trash bag on them. Sanoderm's like, rip it off, stick it on, roll off the edges so it's easier for them to take off. Good to go.
What's great too is a lot of people don't realize we have other products than just the derm too. So we have our vegan soap, which is really, really popular right now. It's got the colloidal silver, lavender, really good healing properties. We want to heal before, during, and after the tattoo. That's the whole goal.
Absolutely.
And what's good.
So you were on John Nelson's podcast.
Yes, I was.
And some of the stuff he's doing right now, I just love it, dude. I love that guy so much. They did that little skit where Sanoderm, this shit will heal anything. And really, it's true, man. I keep a roll of it at home in my first aid kit. So, like, if I cut myself in the garage or something working on one of my bikes, I just put a little fucking piece of Sanoderm on it and forget about it, man.
And I have to thank John because seeing me on that podcast, realized how much of a fat ass I was. It really wanted me to get in the gym.
I think that's what it's doing for me right now, being on my own damn podcast. Dude, I love Sundays at shows, man. That's when like all the excitement's happening.
Yep.
The
Yep, that's the
whole community comes together. Everybody's hanging out. Barely anybody's at the booths anymore, but everybody's up front here, checking out what's going on the stage.
Hey,
We're
they're getting
sitting here-
$10,000.
Yeah,
they're going to be sitting on the stage.
$10,000.
I've never
Dude,
seen that anywhere.
So now, being with Sanoderm all these years and everything, and being on the road and everything, that kind of led you into, and with your experience, what you went through, like Tattoo Saved My Life, because you were in a different industry, you had a heart attack, getting into the tattoo industry, and kind of like finding like where you belong.
Most definitely.
Because you belong with us, man.
Oh, yeah, for
you
sure.
belong with
I
us.
do now, definitely.
And so you got connected with Josh,
Yep.
and through his experience and everything, and starting the nonprofit of Tattoo Saved My Life.
Yeah.
You're really you're dug in. You're in the industry. You're like a pillar now in this industry with Tattoo Saved My Life.
I think how this initially happened was last year. A lot of people know this. We took a life back in 2009. And so I've been talking to some people about suspending. And I was doing some research on it. And it's a rite of passage. It's a way to look for PTSD. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why people do it. And Fleetwood Mac was playing a lot on those stupid Chevy commercials that were going on
Yeah, I
around
remember
October.
those.
Okay. Well, that was my mom's favorite band. Her favorite holiday was Halloween. And it right on Tampa. Tampa's Halloween weekend. And I talked to Sean, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And they're like, okay. And they set me up for Sunday. Saturday, my wife was there, which was really cool, having her there as well.
Hell yeah, to support. Yeah.
Yeah, to support. And Saturday, I had a dream. It actually lived what would have happened. Pretty much came true exactly what I dreamed about. It was pretty wild.
Oh shit. So
But
it was like one of
having all
those
the artists come and support me, and it really showed
cheer
much
you
love,
on and
most
everything.
definitely.
Heck yeah. So how from there, like, how did you get involved with the Tattoo Save My Life nonprofit?
So then Josh, he was there at that time, so he saw me suspend and everything like that. And he knew the reason why I was doing it and everything was just to release my mother, which she
Yeah,
did.
man.
Just old.
Dude, I'm getting good. Look at that. I'm getting
I know.
goosebumps right now,
It's
dude.
wild, man. It is really wild.
I love talking with you, man.
So he calls me up and say, hey, I'm going to go launch this. I think it's a really good idea. And what do you think about it? And I asked, yeah, it sounds awesome. And he goes, I'm going to do it in New Zealand because I don't want it to be domestic yet because a lot of people know me here, but they won't know me out there. And it's just kind of see what happens. I said, cool. Went through, holidays went through. He calls me up in January and he says, you know what, I want you on. I want you being on the board, and I think that you'd be a really big part of it. And I said, let's do it, man. You know,
Dude,
so-
given your expertise and your history of sales and everything that you have professionally, I feel like you were a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And with, you know, your experiences and everything like that, like, it was a marriage is meant to happen.
Most definitely. You know, it's like I have both tattoos of Sanoderm and Tattoo Saved My Life on me. I'm a very loyal person when it comes to that, but Sanoderm is my love, but tattoo is definitely my life. And it's really a legacy. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I remember because you and I just met earlier this year at the Motor City Convention.
Yep.
And it was in, you know, at the end of the day, you saw me wearing the Tattoo Saved My Life shirt. And I remember you approached me and you're like, hey man, you're wearing my shirt. I was like, what do you mean? This is my shirt, bro. And then we got to talking and everything. And, you know, I got to hear your story and everything. And I wear it on my sleeve just like you do, man. And we got talking in the bar after a couple tequilas or so. And, you know, we just bonded right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I realized right there, like, this guy's going to be my friend whether he likes it or not.
Most
So-
definitely. Oh, dude, I love that.
And we got talking about Tattoo Saved My Life and just how much it means to me, too, what you guys are doing. And hearing how much it means to you, like, I have no choice but to support you guys with everything you do because you're as passionate about giving back to the industry as I am.
Most definitely.
And
I mean, I have some really strong ideas I want to do. You know, eventually I want to build an app. I want this app to be a journaling option in there. The artist can actually journal, and I know that would help out a lot too.
oh, man, that's a great idea.
We'll have a 24/7 hotline of artists that volunteers that want to be available that they can reach out to if they need to. And I already have a few artists that want to be part of that. And then have a hotline available that any area they're in, mental health services are available from right then. Because we're losing too many good artists out there.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
are, man. We're just everyone in general, dude.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that help is so available, and that, you know, people like yourself and Josh and the whole crew that you guys have with Tattoo Saved My Life. You know, some people don't know how to acquire that help or like what channels to go through. And if any of you guys out there are struggling with any kind of mental health or depression or anything, you can hit up these guys and they'll point you in the right direction. You're not freaking alone, man.
Not alone. And you think about it too, is that this is a very tight community when it needs to be. And I think what's great about this Tattoo Saved My Life is that there's no competition with aspect of it.
Right.
There's no artists competing against each other. There's no companies competing against each other. Everybody has a common goal that mental health is important with these industries.
Absolutely. And we're all here to see each other at the next show. And we want to see each other at the next show, you know?
Exactly.
So if anybody's
Exactly.
having a rough time, man, just reach out. Just reach out.
You know, and I want to grow this organically with artists too. You know, I don't want to try to get anybody involved with, you know, sponsors or money or anything like that.
Right.
Let's grow it with the artists, have them really believe it and want to support
Right.
it. And, you know, just
Strong foundation.
most definitely. And that way it's credible at that time too, right? You're not just some insider trying to come out with it.
Right. You know, and you didn't have to you know, pay for extra likes or
Correct.
anything like that, you
Correct.
know.
Yeah.
And I feel like what you guys are doing is you guys are such genuine people, and that's why I'm so supportive of what you guys are doing, because you're genuinely out there trying to just help and just, you know, give back. You know,
Most
and,
definitely.
and share your experiences, which, you know, it was kind of what I'm trying to do with this podcast also, you know, and like sharing your story and everything is it might reach one person. If it reaches one fucking person, job well done.
Exactly. And
You know,
that's
if it
one person
helps
saved.
save one life.
Exactly.
Job well done, man.
Well, and as Josh said, hurt to heal, not hurt to hurt.
Exactly, man.
So
You know, and myself, you know, I'm out here trying to shine some light on different aspects of the tattoo industry. And, you know, I've talked with a lot of different people today, and it's been a great day. This has been a great show. And what you guys are doing is freaking great. I highly recommend everybody out there at least check out the website, read a little bit about your story, check out some of your social media. What's some of the links that people can
So
reach out to you?
on IG, just at Tattoo Save My Life. And the website's www.tattoosavemylife.com. You can get a shirt, donate, even post your own story. You know, tell us what's going on. How did tattoo save your life? You know, we want to hear that and see that and have it out there for other people to look as well, because that way they know they're not alone as well.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And then for Sanoderm, Brandoderm.
Brandoderm, yep. So Brandoderm, hit me up if you guys need any discounts or any products, whatever. Like I said, I'll be a dedicated rep. I have another inside sales rep that she works as well. So you You'll always be taken care of no matter what.
Yeah, and these guys really do take care of you, man. I remember I was on the phone with you for about an hour when I set up my loyalty account, man. We were just shooting the shit, and you're telling me what's going on. I think it was you were down in Florida, actually, and you were just wrapping up the podcast at Borrowed Time.
That's right, yep.
And you're like, hey, man, just give me like an hour or so, and I'll get a hold of you. We were texting and everything. You're like, I'll get you set up, man. And I love that personability that we have. You know, you're not just a number with Saniderm either. You know, it's really personable. If I got an issue, I'm just gonna text you and be like, hey, man,
Exactly.
what's up?
Yep, text, IG, whatever. I'm 24/7 with artists because it's national. You know, it's the West Coast, East Coast, wherever it is, I'm there. So
Oh yeah. Anything else you wanna talk about or add to this that you guys got coming up?
I think we're going to be going to. Josh is going to France. I'm not sure if I'm going to Europe or not. My passport's ready to go. That's he won in Hell City too, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't get to go to Hell City this
Oh,
year.
that was fun.
It's such a fun show.
It is a good show.
Derb puts on such a fun show.
Derb's
man.
a great dude. You know what? Actually, what's funny is Derb really helped kind of put that out for us too, because he had the artist with the sign said "Take care of your mental health," and he was wearing a Tattoo Save My Life shirt.
Yeah.
And like I put that out there, and I'm just like, dude. And then having Mohawk Matt and Coon from Sullen
I
wearing
saw,
that too.
I saw that post. I love what Derb's doing with the tattooer, with the
Oh,
assignment.
yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
hilarious, but also he's kind of like bringing up a lot of issues that kind of like
Oh yeah,
poking at some
Poking
issues
some
that-
people. Yeah.
yeah.
That needs to be done. It needs to be talked
does
about.
need to be done, man.
Yep.
Because like the industry, I've talked with a lot of artists, especially today, about where the industry was, how it's evolving. Some things that we agree with, some things that we don't agree with.
I got one. How do you think about the whole situation of being knocked out to do a whole back piece or knocked out? I mean, that's so unfair.
It is unfair. Like you're
You
not
gotta-
getting
you
the
gotta earn
experience.
it. You gotta
That's
earn
just
that pain.
flexing that you have money.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like-
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I say fuck that.
Exactly.
I say fuck that.
I
all
agree
the way.
too. I agree too.
I mean, numbing cream's one thing, but being knocked out's a whole nother.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I want to see the tattoo. Was it arm sleeve?
I want to see the tattoos.
We gotta go look. But we're on the podcast.
I know. I kind of want to cover it, but I kind of want to just be like, all right, well, bye.
Everybody's gonna go see it. So
Fuck.
find out. Let's go
Fuck
look.
it, let's wrap this up. All right,
That's it.
thanks
All
for
right.
being on the Inkwell podcast, Brandon.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you, Gabe.
We're at the Tattoo City Flint Tattoo Convention with my friend Jamie McClown. We both work for Electric Chair. You're in Clio now?
Clio
Yep, still
location.
Clio. I'm in Bay City. So how long have you been tattooing for, and kind of what got you interested or dragged you into this mess?
I've been tattooing for like 13 years. Good like 8, 9 maybe.
How does that work?
Well, I mean, I'm counting my apprenticeship.
Okay, so like you had a lengthy apprenticeship then.
Yeah. So I did an apprenticeship for 6 months, and then the guy ran away to Wyoming. So I had to restart, and I restarted under Kyle Dunbar.
Hell, he's here today.
Yeah, he is. And Candy. I went with them for about 2 years, and then I went off on my own for another year. And then when I finally left that shop, that's where I feel like I actually started my tattoo career.
Your like career, instead of like your education, you were into career mode.
Yeah. Which I feel like even up until 2014 when I came to Electric Chair, that is like where I've done the most growth is from 2014 to now. Being
It's-
surrounded by so many amazing artists.
I was just gonna say, isn't it incredible, like the pillar that Electric Chair is? There's just
Yeah.
like 40 artists of,
crazy.
we just have this wealth of knowledge, and I feel like that was good for my career too, is hanging out with all those artists and learning from
Yeah.
everybody and all the talent.
Yeah, when our boss Joe asked me where do I want to go if I'm going to come work at Electric Chair, and I said I want to go to Clio because Andy Kurth is there, Arthur Bone is there. There's so many amazing artists there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's like the-
everyone's amazing. you
Right,
know,
right, but like those are like household names, especially in Clio.
yeah.
You know,
like early on in my career, I knew of Andy Kurth, and I just felt like I don't know. I always
Well,
looked up to him. So.
if you guys don't know who Andy Kurth is, fucking go look him up.
Yeah, he's
grow
great.
up. Yeah, grow up and know who Andy Kurth is. So I'm very familiar with your style, and I love your style, and I love seeing like the new season of work you're kind of leaning into as of
I feel
lately.
like I go in little style for a year or two, and then I change, and then I change.
And then like it all kind of comes together in this like building who you are as an artist
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Like I was just talking with Kristen about that, And I find it super fascinating, and it's exciting, and like the journey itself is so fun. So what kind of stuff are you really into right now?
I'm trying to get into color portrait work. I've only done 2 so far.
I know, and they're both amazing.
Thank you. I did just win an award on the second one that I did. I got second place.
It's an amazing piece. It's right here. I'm gonna do that like whole little
Oh, okay,
magic
okay.
stuff. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I was like, where?
You're like, it's floating in the air
Oh, yeah.
magically.
Yep,
It's right
this is
here,
it.
and it's an incredible piece. Incredible
Thank you.
piece. And I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit of how amazing you are with the stuff that you do. And I know you've won multiple awards now. You were here last year and you won for that.
Yep, I won Best of Day and Best Black and Gray piece for the stomach piece that I did.
Yeah, on Kate.
Yep.
And it still looks great to this day. I mean, freaking,
Yeah,
she
it
should
looked
enter
awesome.
it this week. Did she enter it at all this weekend?
No. I didn't want to keep entering the same piece again and again, so.
Well, sometimes you got to like sit on that throne until there's a worthy adversary to knock you off. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? So with going into color realism and everything, that's like your new excitement thing that
Right,
you're
yeah.
getting pumped up about.
What I really like to do is be super stressed out while I'm tattooing because I feel like it pushes me, and if I don't get out of my comfort zone, then I'm not going to grow. So.
Well, I was saying to Angie Akimi last night, we were talking about all good
Mm-hmm. Oh,
things,
okay.
all good things, and actually how I noticed that you went over to Kyle, and you had even said to me yesterday that and I didn't know that Kyle was your mentor, that his opinion really mattered, and I was like
It does, yeah.
I was like curious, why is that? And I didn't know that he was your mentor,
Yeah.
and I thought it was so cool, like how you accept critiques and everything like that, and how you seek it because you want to push yourself to be better.
Yeah, because somebody else can see something maybe I can't see, or they have a different eye on it.
Right? Yeah.
I did get a chance to talk to him. He was busy during the show, but after the show at the after party, I met up with him and we talked about it, and he gave me a bunch of pointers, and it was really great.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And I was really intrigued and fascinated that you sought that out for yourself.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of people out there that don't handle criticism very well or actively seek it for
Yeah.
themselves. And I just thought it was really cool that you
Thanks.
are always trying to improve like that. And you do it with such grace and like professionalism. And I just think
Do I come off professional?
yeah.
Okay, great.
I think it's a really good quality that you have. That, I haven't known you super long or anything, but every time we've hung out at a couple shows that we've done together and everything, I think you handle yourself really well, and like how you run your business and everything. It's inspiring, and I think a lot of early or new artists out there can take some pointers from you on that. So like, with that being said, apprentices coming out these days and everything. I've been talking a lot about apprentices lately. Do you have any advice for anybody trying to get in the tattoo industry, like based on, the experience that
Like
you
trying
had?
to get into an apprenticeship, or like somebody that's already in an apprenticeship, if I could.
Maybe a little bit of both, like in comparison, because you've seen the industry grow now and evolved over the 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
You said that like
Yeah.
since you
That
you
I've
got
been
your
like
start.
in it. And
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
So if, let's say for instance, there's some apprentices here today and this is their first convention and they're looking around at all these amazing artists and they're just kind of starstruck. Moving forward for them, what's some advice that you would give them?
Oh, if they're apprenticeship already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they've already started, say they're like a month in.
I would say don't rush to try and get into your first tattoo to do it. But I feel like a lot of apprentices are just like, I want to start tattooing right now. But kind of like especially at something like this, if you walk around, try and soak up like what they're doing, what their art looks like, and don't be afraid to like walk in and ask them questions, because most everyone is really happy to help and talk about
absolutely.
like, what they're doing.
It's a great industry. Everybody's, especially at this show. I was fortunate enough to sit down and have Travis for like 20 minutes earlier.
He did this too?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
cool.
sat down and talked with me, and he's been busy all weekend because he's paid attention to so much detail with everything. As far as
I
the
love
land-
these are my favorite
I know they're so
ones
cool.
I've ever had.
They're
like metal.
metal and they'll hold up
shiny.
forever.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we all save these. It's,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a...
I was just
thing of
telling
honor.
somebody a story about I did a Denver tattoo convention, and so we do load in on Thursdays, and we had taken an airplane ride, and it was just like really early in the morning. We check in, and I look like horrible because I've just
Spent
and they're
like
like,
10
hey,
hours
let's
on the
take
road."
your picture, and then this is going to be on your plaque for the entire weekend. And I'm like, great, this is my awful Thursday photo. I'm exhausted, and I get to wear it all weekend.
You're like, thanks. I never want to do the show again. So you've done quite a few shows, like especially the last few years, haven't you?
Yep.
Like you're like the
that's
queen of
Like 3
shows.
or 4 years we've been doing it.
How many a year would you say you're doing right now?
I didn't really do many this year. I did two of them, I think, this year. But last year we did like 8 of them, I think. We want to do one at least like one every other month, if not one a month.
That's freaking awesome. I'm kind of gracefully trying to approach that myself.
Have you
but-
been on one? Yeah. Have you gone to a Villain Art show or like a show with Electric?
Yeah, I did Philly this
Oh,
year,
yeah,
and
okay.
then we worked Detroit together this year. Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
And I had that amazing cheeseburger.
Oh,
That thing was so
that
good.
was so good.
I still
It was like
remember it.
jelly and jalapenos and stuff.
And like the egg and everything.
yeah,
Oh, my
yeah,
god, it was so
it was
good.
the best burger.
And I was so hungry at the end of that day, and I waited so long. Remember, it was like an hour and a half
It
before I
was,
got the
yeah.
burger, and I sat on the floor in the lobby and
I
just
do
shouted
remember
down. Oh my god, it was so good. So what are some things that you've learned from like in contrast to like doing your first show to where you're at now? Because now you're running like a well-oiled machine,
Yeah.
I'd say. In contrast, like what are some tips and advice that you'd give people getting into doing some conventions?
So the first show that we did, we packed 2 large suitcases, 2 backpacks, way too much stuff. And we didn't need half of it. Like I packed a full box of each size of needles. I'm like, I might do 40 tattoos this weekend. So you don't need that much. And anything that you forget, you can just buy at the convention anyway.
Right,
so
you're
it's
at
like
the tattoo
pack
store.
light. Right. Just pack light. That's my advice.
Have you seen how Vampiro does his like pack setup? He has everything fits in like a book bag for him.
Oh,
He's got
that's
like
the point I'm at now, where I have a black pack and I can just carry that, and that's all I need.
yeah, dude, and like that setup and like when you get it down to a science like that, you can do the weekend so easy,
Yeah.
and I feel like it runs so smooth for you. And then like you said, if you're missing anything, you just run over to one of the vendors and pick it up.
Right.
So moving forward. What shows do you got coming up for the rest of the year? Do you have any other ones booked?
We were supposed to do a show in New Zealand in September.
Dang,
We didn't end
whoa.
up booking it, so we're not going to do that. Our next show is until next January for Minneapolis, and then Philly.
Sweet.
after that.
Oh, Skizzy Scott, he travels with you.
Yeah.
You guys are a unit. You guys do all the shows together. You guys do every show together? Or do you ever?
He's done more than I have this year, just because I'm trying to focus a lot more at home.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then you guys always take Avocado with you.
Yes, our
Avocado's
dog,
their
Avocado.
dog.
You want to put him up here?
I do.
He's so cute.
I'm gonna have to go
I'll take you a
photobomb
really
and get
good
a
photo.
get a
I'll
whole
send you
bunch
a
of
really good
pictures.
photo. Yes, he's adorable.
Sweetest little thing ever.
We actually have an Instagram for him, Avocado the Staffy.
Yeah?
And we have pictures of him like at conventions, walking down the aisles.
That's
and
awesome.
stuff like that. Yeah.
I met him for the first time at Detroit.
I think we did.
I think it was
I think it was
Detroit. Skizzy had him walking around and everything.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Can I pet your dog? And he's like, hell no. He was like, I'm just fucking kidding. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He
He loves all
fun.
the attention, but by Sunday, he gets to a point where they're like, "Can I pet your dog?" And he's like, "No." And then the owl will just be like, "Don't pet me. I'm tired."
He's like, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
Move on. Go pet the next dog. So what are some things that any big plans or anything? So the international thing, that sounds like maybe something that you're wanting to explore.
yeah. I just went to Italy recently this year, and
I remember that.
There's a couple conventions out that way, so I would love to go back and actually do a convention, and maybe that will be like my first one out of the country.
Have you done much research as to like what's different about traveling abroad and doing a convention abroad?
I haven't. Yeah.
So I'd love to hear about that, about your experience after you get back from doing a show like over the pond or whatever. Anything coming up at home, like with your career and everything that you're trying to move forward with, or anything like we talked about the color portraits?
I can talk about yet.
Oh.
But I do have big plans. Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about, but we'll leave that
Okay.
for a later time. Well, I think that kind of covered everything. I'll let you go back to enjoying the show. You said you're done tattooing for the night?
I am going to probably pack up after this. But thank you for having me on your show.
No problem.
I
Thanks
was
for
really
being-
nervous, but I think it was okay. I think
Yeah,
it was
don't
good.
be
And I
nervous.
want to come back and I want to do it again.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. So tell everybody how they can find your work and everything. Instagram, Facebook, what do you got?
So you can look up my Instagram. It's MCLONE McLone Tattoos, and it's very simple. I actually have a fun. Oh well, no.
Oh, no, come
I
on.
do have a funny story. We were at a show in Minneapolis, and I met this artist, Steve Monet, and he was really nice. I made some cutouts, and he was the first one to buy them, and he was saying they were awesome. It's like, oh, great. So then we were at the bar one night, and he's like, hey, what's your Instagram? I'll follow you. And I was like, oh, it's Tattoos by JME MCL. And he's like, what? That's a mouthful. Can you spell it out for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, I got through the halfway through tattoo, and he's like, no, this is awful. This is the worst name you've ever had. Why would you name your Instagram this? It's so confusing. And I was like, okay, thank you. But it is. Every time I say it, they're like, JAMIE? No, I'm like, no, JME. And so that's why I switched it to just McClone Tattoos. It's just very simple, very easy to find.
So-
And it's actually the first one that pops up. So
Once again, she handles criticism
Yeah.
so fucking well. So fucking
it was
well.
actually funny.
That is pretty fucking funny. I wonder if people think of my social media like that.
What is your?
It's just G Wint.
Oh, that's good. That's short.
Actually,
it's easy
one
to remember.
funny story about one of my little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
This one client I had, he was like looking at my business card, and I have my @G Wint on there, which is just my first initial and my last name. He was like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
"What's Gwent?" And I was like,
What's
what?
Gwent?
I was like, "What the fuck, man? Come on, do you know who I am?"
Yeah.
Gabe Wint. Put it
It
together.
makes sense.
It makes sense.
It made sense to me. But
Well, thanks for being on the Inkwell podcast. We're here chilling for the weekend. It's Sunday at the Tattoo City, Flint, Michigan Tattoo Convention. Jamie, thanks for being on the podcast.
thank you.
I'll catch you later.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test.